Hello everyone, this is Greyshot 117 here.
And Greyshot 151.
And we are going to be going over TV shows. So
Yep.
not only will we be doing movie reviews, but now we're working into TV shows and maybe eventually we'll do video games
Exactly.
in this form. I like this format because it's co-optional. It kind of help, both of us are co-opting this kind of review.
And it's really easy to edit.
Yes. Oh, bullshit. Now with the green screen, it's not as much. But in any case, I hope you guys are enjoying that and hope you guys can watch something behind us as well.
In any case, we're going to Netflix. We're going to something strange. A thing that is strange. In fact, it's one of the strangest things we've ever seen.
Jesus Christ.
It's called Stranger Things. And I couldn't help myself.
So,
Without going... one note we will have is we're not going to go into spoilers. Although we'll be as vague as possible in this regard. But what we will say is, if essentially it is a film that
if we do start talking about spoilers, I will design a spoiler a notice up top, which will let you know spoilers, so that way you are notified.
Exactly. Essentially, what we will be doing is, essentially the show basically takes place. If you want an idea, it's like, imagine Spielberg, John Carpenter, and...
See, a little bit of Stephen King.
And a little bit of Stephen King.
Good Stephen King.
Good Stephen King, not shitty under the dome Shitty King. Stephen King.
Shitty King.
Shitty King, yes. I just can imagine that's like a plumber. It's like an actual like truck. Shitty King, and there's like a guy sitting on there with a book.
I could see it. I can honestly see it.
In any case, for the book itself, for the movie itself, for the series, it basically has a group of kids, a girl, a monster, a sheriff, government spies, government agents. You name it, it's basically
Young
everything
kids.
in the 80s.
Yeah.
Every kind of trope you can think of during the 80s. Like, if you would imagine, like, an 80s movie, it basically has it in a horror sense and as, like, a Goonies or, like, a
Now, here's the
Spielberg
thing.
sense.
I went into this being like, there's a mystery or something along those lines. And then when I watched it, I'm like, this is awesome. Then I told you about it.
Yeah, so
and you asked me what it was. And I said, I'm not telling you.
Yeah, the major note for this movie is, I didn't realize...
Actually, that's a good point. Before you say it feels like a
Super
8-hour movie. It feels like Super 8 extended with a more
cohesive plot line.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, I would say if you like Super 8, definitely check this out. Again, but the major note is it balances all the elements so very well. For instance, when just going by the trailers, I didn't know about the girl. I didn't know about a monster or anything like that, or where this was coming from. I just knew some shit was going down. I honestly thought it was a ghost story by what the trailers showed. By thing unlocking, and I was like, oh god, it's just a ghost. But it was like, oh my god, it's a monster. Yes! I was like getting so giddy and excited because I was like, oh my god, it's like an 80s, which by the way, I love Super 8. Super 8's again, it has faults, it has problems,
It's
but it's a good movie.
It's one of my favorite movies. So yeah, I like it a lot more than people. People are like, oh, the ending sucks. I'm like, I don't care. That movie, I really enjoy it. But in any case, this series, the acting is phenomenal.
Even the kids,
the child
great.
actors all around, from the the main trio to the girl, who, by the way, props to that girl for being a kid and giving a wider range of emotion than a lot of adult actors. This person is someone who's been abused, someone who's been through a lot of hell, both physically and mentally, and
you can see that with her. She's very reserved. She's also very, she's off. Is what the best term is. Like, she can speak English, but she does not trust anyone. But even the kids, like, she does not trust anything, and she also knows how to trick the kids on certain situations or like mess with them. But on the flip side, on the adult side, you have the teenagers, which is like the mid ground, and essentially this whole story, can we go into like why the story goes, like what the whole it's basically a disappearance. Someone disappears, and essentially every group is affected. These kids are affected, teenagers are affected, a group of teenagers, and then you have the adults that are affected. The adult is a very mature story. The kids, you definitely see the Spielberg in their eyes. You see they don't know what's going on.
The teenager, you bring in like the campy like slasher type of thing.
And don't get me wrong, there's some excellent moments of scares in this series. But what it also delivers is a lot of good emotion and a lot of good characters. For instance, a lot of the tropes you see in horror movies, like the jock being a dick and stuff, that may be true, but there's a lot more depth to these characters than what they just dismissed.
And I feel like in this series, it's able to expand upon that 80s cult classic film that you watched. So, for example, it expands upon these characters. It analyzes why they act this way without being like preachy. It essentially gives more room.
Relying too much on nostalgia.
Yeah. By the way, it has nostalgia in it, but unlike, let's say, Ghostbusters, which hammered in cameos every few seconds, be like, this is Bill Murray, guys. It's Bill Murray. Do you guys see it's Bill Murray? This show pays homage to the 80s stuff by just saying itself in it and subtle references.
It's not like the reference lines. It's a reference that it's like if you read a good book.
Yeah.
It's like if you it's like, oh my god, this book. It's like if it's like a mystery book. It's like if you're comparing like, I don't know, a monk book to like a Fletch book, which are both two different styles. But you're like, oh, both of them are like detectives that search things. It's kind of like the routine, like the Law and Order type of shows. Like you can see the pattern, but it's not like one character is copying off another.
Yeah.
I mean, in those kind of films they are, but it's like this is very much original on itself. All the characters are very original. Even the sheriff, who I would say you could definitely see the hints of like where he's coming from.
Oh yeah.
Definitely proves to be one of the. He was one of my favorite characters in the show.
Yeah. Hopper.
Yeah.
Sheriff Hopper. Yeah. The guy I thought did a fantastic job because at first like, oh god, he's a sheriff.
Yeah.
But then you start like going through and be like,
oh wow,
this guy's not dumb. Like this guy's actually a pretty smart
How he's
sheriff.
Introduced, he's like, come on, why'd you have to bring me out like now? Like he just basically apparently he's like a drug problem. He's like a I don't give a fuck kind of. It's great as sheriff, but by the end of the series, he pulls his weight and there's a lot of emotion that comes into the series. And
oh, by the way, just as a heads up, like there are characters I'm like, oh, this is gonna be bad. The jock character, or like the other teenage characters, the mom, like there's these characters I'm like, oh, this is gonna be suck. This is gonna be bad. Some are alums of like previous horror films.
Some of the most engaging parts of the series.
The mom specifically, I'm like, wow, that's like I'm not
every horror movie should watch. Every director that makes a horror movie should watch this and say, oh, I didn't realize I could make smart horror movie characters.
Yeah.
I never realized it. It's like, because this woman sees the absolute craziest things, and she's completely sane, but no one believes her. But it's so great because by the end, everything is, there's no I wonder how that happened.
And the great thing about it is the situations are so insane but amazing that you're just like, what the fuck is going on, and how is she gonna solve? How is any of these people gonna solve this?
And the series, by its conclusion as well, I would say like 95 to 99% of the questions or the things that are done through the series, it answers.
I would say 90%. I'm gonna say there's a solid 10% of mystery to it, but that's left to your own interpretation and your own.
Yeah, there's again, we're not gonna go into like deep spoilers, but there's like a lot of things like, for what the kids experience,
where did this individual go who is missing?
Yes.
Where are they? What is this cover up that the government is trying to do or is done?
The most basic stuff
has done.
Even like which I will say the monster is well done.
Oh yeah.
I kind of wish it was a little bit more practical, but the monster in itself is very intimidating. It's a creature that it's very much Jaws in a sense.
I thought it was very similar to.
It's like Jaws and The Thing, which may sound very weird to add those two, but I add Jaws with the fact that you never know where this thing is, and The Thing by how this thing looks.
Yes.
Because this thing is not. It's a good blend. It does. Yeah. It's not like
scary, but it's also being like It's
not like Super 8, where the monster you could say, oh, it's a Cloverfield. Like people were saying, oh, the monster is the Cloverfield monster.
This is something.
This thing is. It's human, but it's original in the same way. It's very good, and that's all I can say without spoiling it, which is a very big point.
I would say, if anything, this film did. The TV show did a great job of balancing out. Like this thing is, this thing is like all super powerful with it being an animal. I thought it did a great job of balancing it out between this thing is like a unknown to this thing is related to us. And it's like, and what in case you're wondering, like, well, what do you mean? In my opinion, a lot of supernatural stories, anytime there's like a supernatural monster or supernatural creature, they don't explain or they don't go into it, and it's like, oh, it's scarier because we don't go in and we don't spoil it. It's like,
first off, horror movie directors.
Back up, please.
Sorry.
Okay, thank you.
Horror movie directors. That is horrible. The best type of monster is a monster and it's a monster that, like Jaws, you give
enough explanation, but you don't over-explain it. You don't go Jaws 4, but like, it's out for revenge.
It's like it's a shark that eats people. In this thing, it's a monster that hunts. That's it. It's just something that got access and basically hunts. That's the entire premise of it. And even the kid, the one that disappears, his explanation of...
Thank you, by the way, for... Yeah, we keep saying individual.
Oh, sorry. The person
nice
that...
job.
Okay, the kid that disappears. Spoilers. The kid that disappears, essentially, is... How he's able to... The disappearance, the cover-up, everything makes sense. Like, it's not like a...
Yeah. And especially because at the end, you're like, how the hell are they going to explain this? And they do it without explaining it. That's the beautiful part. They do it without the Shyamalan, like, Last Airbender, where it's like, here's a dialogue scene to explain it. Here's a dialogue scene to explain.
They show you rather than telling you. Yes. And you can understand it. Like, oh, this is that and that is this by understanding. Yeah. Again, we're trying to be as... apologies for the spoiler, but I'm trying to be as... We're trying not to say anything because this series is so good and you should go in without saying this. So I think we should wrap it up.
I would... again, we went over the kids, the parents... I think we should go. I do want to say, like, sound design. I love the soundtrack. Yeah. The opening theme I thought was amazing. Like the opening. I don't like a lot of TV show like intros. One Punch Man is something where it's like, okay, that gets you into the beat. But then there are other shows which I don't know. Sometimes the opening maybe doesn't relate to the actual show, and I hate that. This is. Again, I don't just watch it for yourself. It's one of my favorite intros of all time, easily for a TV show. It's and also how it transitions from the title sequence to the actual show. I'm like, that's very clever, very nice.
Or even the explanations, like when there's like one scientist in there that does the explanations for everything.
Yeah.
Like whenever there's like a big budget shot, it's done well. But when there's also a quieter moment, like when there's an explanation of, let's say, an acrobat and a flea. It's done so easily that even the most harebrained person, a monkey, could understand it.
Yeah.
And it explains everything, which is perfect.
Yeah, and also I like how, and again, just to go over some things, the effects of this is a TV show, but the monster effects, I would say, hold up better than 95% of sci-fi movies. Easily.
Oh, yeah, easily.
Like, whatever they did for budget-wise and however they made this creature... I'm assuming they did actually go practical. It's just they use CGI too.
Oh yeah, over it. Like kind of like Jurassic World with the raptors. How some of them were actually there, but they actually... it was actually the cage scenes. Whenever you see the raptors,
there were people there.
Yeah, no, there were heads of the raptors, but then they added the digital effects. It just had a little gloss to it that I wish they could have covered up a little bit.
Yeah.
But whenever you don't see the creature, like when you see like things going on, it works. It works very well. And most of the stuff is practical. Like the house, everything is mostly practical. And you get that 80's vibe. Yeah. There's no denying it. The 80's vibe is there. It's present, and you know it. There's Russian notes. There are plenty of toys. They nailed the setting.
Yeah. But that being said, like, again, for effects-wise, for a TV budget, this is another show, like The Flash, where I'm just like... This is a movie. This looks like a movie. It's maybe not the highest budget movie, but they pull it off enough to where this looks like a movie. And especially a specific sequence that happens multiple times with the young girl, I will say. Oh. I'm not going to say anything more, but the shots with her in both, with pretty much all of her.
You mean when she's talking? You mean when she's both long distance?
Yes, when she went long distance. Without spoiling, I will say long distance. Just like that looks as good as a movie. Like you nailed your style.
It doesn't look fake. It's interesting. It's terrifying.
And even like
it's everything.
And we'll say this: the quote unquote final episode, the stuff that happens there. I want to say 90% of it, not just
gorgeous.
Just not just the monster. Gorgeous for a TV show budget. Gorgeous. So again, I can't wait to see it. They have confirmed that Netflix hasn't renewed it like a lot of other shows, but they with the attraction online and people saying it's almost guaranteed. So if they were to do a season 2,
they renewed Marco Polo for God's sake.
Yeah. So look, if they are going to do a season 2, the creators have stated that it wouldn't be immediately afterwards. It would be a couple years down the line. Yes. So I like that idea because again, they said the child actors are going to be growing, so they want to kind of age
them.
But that would also be good because you would have if the kids probably going to high school, maybe, and then that evolving. And I would like to see long term some of these characters
how do they respond to what they went through? Because it's not all it's not all roses and flowers.
Oh yeah,
shit goes down. Yeah, and shit goes down hard.
This show gets dark, but here's the thing: it's levity. It's a balance where anytime there's a more serious moment, there can be a more comedic moment. So
that's why I think it works so well to have it as first a TV series, and then as well having the child actors like they're having their situation balance out with what the adults are facing.
Yeah.
Because they're both facing the similar situation.
Yeah.
But they're both...
two different angles.
But two different angles of the same... It's two different sides of the same coin. One's a little bit lighter, one's a little darker.
Oh, even like...
And it flips.
Yeah.
Like the adults get laughs and the children get horrified.
Yeah.
But it balances it so well, like you said.
But yeah, this is a show we highly recommend. Go check it out.
Yeah.
You can start a free Netflix trial, binge it. It's only 8 episodes. But yeah, this is so far probably my new favorite series of the year.
So don't be surprised if you see it on the top 10 series for Greyshot Productions. It might be on there. It might be up pretty high there, actually.
Yeah. But in any case, thanks for watching.
Hope you guys enjoyed, and we will see you next time.